Kaulig Racing makes a mid-season driver swap and shoots down rumors that their Xfinity program could be shutting down. Also, an old fan favorite track is reportedly returning to the Cup Series schedule. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Hope you're doing well. Battling kind of a sore, scratchy throat this morning. Might have something to do with the near 3-hour live show we did last night. I appreciate those of you who stopped by. We've got some NASCAR news from the past 24 hours or so to catch up on today, beginning with Shane Van Gisbergen. Oh crap, if he figures out the ovals, it's over for everyone else. The other night, SVG won his first pavement oval race since coming to America. He won the Pro Legends A feature at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the final night, I believe, of the summer shootout. I know he was up against a lot of very young drivers. I mean, Keelan Harvick was in the field, but guys like Bubba Wallace competed as well. Legends car racing is very competitive, especially during the summer shootout. But what I love most about this is the fact that it shows how SVG is fully bought in. He is serious about oval racing, about improving his oval racing skills, and with little to no practice time in the NASCAR Cup Series nowadays, little to no testing opportunities, you gotta get the seat time where you can get it. If that's a Legends car at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the little quarter mile, that's what it's going to be. Shout out to Shane Van Gisbergen getting those reps any way he can. Let's talk Xfinity Series. Yesterday, Kaulig Racing announced that they had released driver Josh Williams effective immediately. They said in their statement that multiple drivers will drive the number 11 Chevy over the remaining 12 races. Josh Williams released a statement as well saying, quote, "As most of you have seen, Kaulig Racing has made the decision to release me for the remainder of the season. This has been a difficult day for my family, friends, longtime partners, and fans, whom I can't thank enough for standing by my side through all of this. We'll be back soon and looking forward to a much brighter chapter in my racing career. I wish nothing but the best for my guys on the 11 team." Josh Williams, 31 years old from Florida, joined Kaulig Racing before the 2024 season. But unfortunately, over the past year and a half, he has struggled to get results. Last year, Williams managed only 4 top 10 finishes the whole season, finished 18th in points, and this year hasn't been much better. He has only 2 top 10 finishes thus far and sits 19th in points. Now, it has been a rough year for Kaulig across the board, but it doesn't help Josh Williams that his 2 rookie teammates, Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye, are ahead of him in points, only by a few spots. But still, people forget that Josh Williams won a couple of ARCA races back in the day, and part of how he got this Kaulig opportunity was he spent several years racing for Mario Gosselin's DGM Racing and overachieved. Several top 20 points finishes, several top 10s every single year. And you look at where DGM is now since Williams has left. Right now, their 2 cars are 31st and 32nd in owners' points. I'm not saying it was all Josh Williams, because it wasn't, but they clearly haven't gotten better since he left. So Josh Williams is at the very least a fine race car driver. I talked to him last year, I remember, I think late in the season, and he talked about the difficulty of having to readjust his mental approach. You know, for years, Josh Williams raced his own stuff, raced for teams on a budget. The goal is to finish, to keep the car underneath you, to take what the race gives you, to bring it home in one piece. But suddenly he's put in a Kaulig Racing seat with more resources, playoff expectations. You're expected to drive harder, to take risks, and Josh Williams had to change his approach. So that may be part of why he struggled. It's disappointing because I like Josh Williams, really good dude. He's done a lot of work with children's hospitals over the years, and like I said, clearly is a fine race car driver at the very least. Hope this partnership would work out better than it did, but unfortunately, they never realized their full potential. There's also potentially a financial component here. Like with any decent Xfinity Series ride, the driver has to bring the funding. Maybe there were complications there as well, but whatever the reason for the release, the performance clearly played a role. Were his struggles due to, having to change his approach? Was it not fitting in well with his crew chief, with his guys? Or maybe it was Kaulig Racing. Maybe Kaulig Racing has just fallen off. I threw together some numbers this morning. Look back at 2020. The team had Justin Haley and Ross Chastain competing full-time. AJ Allmendinger was there on a part-time basis. That season, Kaulig won 5 Xfinity races, had an impressive 9.0 average finish as a team. The next year, with Allmendinger, Jeb Burton, and Justin Haley all full-time, they won 7 races, an 11th place average finish. But then, with different drivers coming in and out, you can see every single year the average finish as a team gets significantly worse, and the past couple of years they are winning fewer and fewer races. If they didn't have Shane Van Gisbergen last year at road courses, they maybe win 1 race as a team. This year, as you can see, with Christian Eckes, Daniel Dye, young rookies, and of course Josh Williams, they're having their worst season in years. 0 wins thus far, an 18th place average finish. It's been bad, but as you can see, it's been kind of trending this direction for a few years now. Hopefully this team can turn some things around. They mentioned that they'll put different drivers in the 11 car the rest of this season. It looks like Carson Hocevar will get first dibs. We know Carson is fast. He is going to push that equipment to its physical limits. I know they're limited because once the playoffs start in a few weeks, they can't put Cup guys in that car, but before then, it'd be great to see Kyle Busch, or maybe they bring AJ down for one of the road course races coming up. Not sure how it would work with scheduling, but I want to see them put veteran drivers, fast drivers in that car just to establish a better baseline. It's hard to set a baseline when you have rookies and struggling Josh Williams behind the wheel. The Hocevar news, Hocevar to the 11, it appears, is interesting, and it certainly continues to fuel recent rumors that Spire Motorsports may be entering some sort of partnership with Kaulig. Some have even suggested they may purchase Kaulig's Xfinity Series assets to develop their own Xfinity Series organization. Chris Rice, Kaulig Racing team president, pushed back against some of those rumors. Earlier this week on SiriusXM NASCAR radio, he said, quote, "I've seen where everybody says the Xfinity program is shutting down. It's not shutting down. That's our cornerstone." Now, Chris Rice did admit that Kaulig could be just a 2-car Xfinity team next year if they don't have the funding for a 3rd car, but he says they don't plan on leaving the Xfinity Series anytime soon. I'll take him at his word, but Carson Hocevar getting involved, Spire Motorsports driver getting involved, certainly fuels some rumors. Something behind the scenes could be happening there. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. But yes, unfortunate news. Josh Williams out of Kaulig Racing mid-season. That is the latest there. Let's talk about some recent schedule news. The Athletics' Jordan Bianchi reported yesterday that NASCAR will not race at Mexico City next year and instead will return to Chicagoland. Bianchi notes that the FIFA World Cup is a huge schedule conflict next summer. Mexico City is scheduled to host several matches between June and July. That made it very difficult to find a spot for Mexico City on the Cup schedule next season, but there is a chance that Mexico City returns to the NASCAR schedule in 2027. It's a similar story as what we've heard about the Chicago street race. While these events are off the schedule for next season, it sounds that doesn't necessarily mean it's goodbye for good. Both Chicago and Mexico City could be back on the Cup schedule in the coming years. But for now, NASCAR is planning to return to the Intermediate Oval in Joliet, Illinois, Chicagoland Speedway. I'm looking forward to this, even if it's just temporary. I think this track, assuming they don't repave it, is going to put on a fantastic show with the next-gen car. It's an intermediate oval, multiple lanes to work with. Kansas has been a great race. Homestead has been a great race. Charlotte has put on a fantastic show. I expect Chicagoland to fit right in with the next-gen car. I think that will be awesome. We know they want to stay in and near Chicago. It's a huge market. I hope people show up. I know a lot of fans have been excited about a Chicagoland Speedway return ever since it was taken off the schedule during the pandemic year in 2020. Pete Pistone, NASCAR SiriusXM host, notes that they're eyeing 4th of July weekend for the Chicagoland return race. Going to be warm, going to be toasty. Hopefully they can push a couple of those races into the evening under the lights. Chicagoland Speedway does have lights. That's a good plus. As y'all know, I'm a big fan of the Chicago street race. I'm looking forward to the San Diego street race on the Naval Base next year. I'm glad that there is still a street course event happening next season, but I'm also excited about Chicagoland Speedway returning. Again, I think it'll put on a great race with the next-gen car. This just feels very temporary. Like, I can't shake the feeling that as soon as they can strike a new deal with the city of Chicago or a new deal with Mexico City in the coming years, I feel like Chicagoland Speedway will be one of the first tracks on the chopping block. You could argue that Kansas, which is also NASCAR owned, has 2 dates a year, struggled with attendance from time to time in recent years. Perhaps a Kansas date could get the axe first. for example. That's true, but there is a reason the series left Chicagoland 5 years ago in the first place. I hope the race is good, and if fans show up and the support is there, I hope this track has a long runway. But I guess all this is to say, if you've been wanting Chicagoland back on the schedule, get your tickets as soon as it's official. Show your support for this track, because if fans support it, it likely won't go anywhere. If the support is lackluster or dwindles after year one, then we're right back in the same position we were in 2019, 2020, 2021, unfortunately. But that is the latest news. Again, that's from The Athletic. You can read their full schedule report down in the description below. I'll put that link down there. The full schedule's not out yet, but they provide a lot of insight, details, great reporting as usual. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is teasing that more schedule news is coming, potentially big changes. I don't know what he could be teasing there. I feel like San Diego is the big splash on next year's schedule. We know Dale Jr. loves North Wilkesboro. Has he caught wind of a points date finally? Maybe. I'm just trying to think of what would get Dale Jr. excited. The Roval maybe goes back to the Oval in the fall at Charlotte. I don't know. I don't know what Dale could be teasing there, but we'll keep our eyes peeled. The full schedule should be released in the next few weeks. So stay tuned, folks. We'll talk about it as soon as the news breaks. But that's going to do it for this episode, y'all. I appreciate you watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR chatter every single day, every week, all year long. Big thank you to my supporters for your generous support of the show and the channel. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, folks. Thanks for watching.